This is the video you've been searching for. We'll go over every case out there and rank them according to my liking. S tier is the best and F tier is also the best, but best to avoid. Let's start with Catalyst. I was such a big fan of their waterproof case. I just had to check out the other case they had too. The Total Protection case is a really rugged case. You basically open it, put the Airpods case in, and then close the latch. Its design almost looks like one of those Zippo lighters, where the cap stays on when it's opened. And that's my issue with it as well. It's easy to use, sure, and because of that rubber inner which is sort of giving, there is a lot of protection for drops here as well. But to quickly open it and take out the AirPods, yeah, that's just not as nice. But if you're willing to give that up for a very rugged and protective case, then by all means. The second problem I have with it is that the latch is just too difficult to open. I nearly bend my fingernail trying to get that thing open. Closing it is fine though, it's really only opening that's a big issue. The opening is just too small to get a good grip on, and I think it's a big weak point too, because if that breaks, your case is now useless. On the plus side, it doesn't rely on stickers, which is great, and thanks to the rubber seals all around, not just at the USB-C port, it's waterproof too, which is a big win. It's also got a lanyard or keychain loop, which you can make flat as well if you don't need it. Oh, and it does not have any additional magnets at the back. B tier. The waterproof case is a very different product. This is one of those silicone cases that wraps around it. And it's also waterproof IP67. This is one of my absolute favorites because it's just so versatile. It's pretty thick silicone, so pretty much every drop will be softened. It's waterproof because of those ridges on the inside. The fit is very snug but still easily removed when you want it to. And if you only want to grab your AirPods, just fold open the top part and now you can easily grab them. It's also got that USB-C port to keep water and dust out, and this specific color is glow in the dark too, which can be very handy for finding them in your bag or car. S tier. Now from Tech21 we have the Evo Clear and the EvoLight, and from the packaging they look very different. So that's why of course I bought both. But having them in my hands, I honestly could not tell the difference. They are both made from a thick but softer type of plastic and are equally flexible. Really, the only thing that's different is that one has the logo on the front, and that one is also the best because it's actually fitted somewhat nicely. The EvoLight is such a bad fitting case, it's actually ridiculous. It's so bad that you could really slap the whole case off with the lightest slap I have ever given. That's not the case on the Evo Clear though. Luckily, neither makes use of those annoying stickers for the top part, and from my testing, they stick pretty good. I have not been able to slap test them off. So if you are searching for a clear case type of solution, yeah, maybe you could go for the Evo Clear. But it's not a full-on recommendation from me. Evo Clear goes to C tier and the EvoLight goes to F tier. Now, Native Union, I already featured it in my top 5, and while that's my list, it's a really good choice for anyone. It's a synthetic type of leather though, so not the real deal. But it does feel like it, as far as they are able to achieve that, of course. The fit is absolutely fantastic. No stickers on either part, and they hold on fantastically. It feels so snug, as if it's handmade or tailored like you would expect. This is a prime example of why stickers should only be required as a second option. The fit should be good without it too. It cannot be the only thing that's fixing the problem. I like that texture on the top part too. It looks good. And the material is really grippy as well. On the inside, it's a felt material, which works excellent it seems, but also makes it just that tiny bit nicer. It's a little pricey for what it is though, but if it's available for a discount, definitely grab this. A tier. Then, Casemate. The tough case is very alike to something we've already seen in this list. the Catalyst Waterproof. Now, who was first? I don't know, and I don't care. I only care about whether it's actually worth your money. And here, I think it's mostly design you're choosing between. They are excellent as well. It's really exactly the same principle. And other than the carabiner, which feels significantly cheaper made, there's no difference I could spot that would make this a lesser option. It's definitely the cheaper option though, and that's noticeable in its details. It looks as if there's less time spent on refining the edges. And the USB-C plug is a little more difficult to get back in there. But since it's priced for half that of the Catalyst, that's in line of expectation. A tier. The second case is called the Clear Case, and it's even cheaper at like 10 bucks. That's also exactly what it feels like though. And I would stay clear of buying this one. It's one thick but flexible piece of plastic, and even the top is attached to the base as well. And that seems like a point where it would snap over time. And since the fit is so bad on both pieces, that's no good sign. Really, just like the EvoLight, if this falls on the ground, there is a good chance your AirPods will just fly out anyway. And I don't mean out of the case. I mean the case out of the case. F tier. Then Woolnut. I saw online that they are actually full grain leather, but the cases inside is plastic, and that's pretty thick too, so the actual leather part will be very thin, I assume. It also does not really smell like leather. It actually doesn't smell of anything really. It reminds me a lot of how Bellroy did it with their leather case for the iPhone, which I wasn't a fan of either. Now, I got nothing to say about how it looks because that part is great. It does feel a little weak, as in it's very flexible, but so is the native Union one on its own. And once it's around the AirPod case, that does not really matter anymore. What does though is the fit. And here it's once again nearing laughable. It's a little better than the other losers so far, but barely. The top doesn't have a fit at all. It's just a hat for your AirPods, which even the wind will blow off, and the lower part is barely holding on. All in all, not a good look, and definitely not something I would use. The packaging is nice though, but they probably spent 60% of their budget on the packaging. E tier. Now, this one was hard to find. The ZAGG Gear4 Apollo Snap. And on their website, it's not even mentioned anymore. So I am not sure whether or not they discontinued it or that it's just difficult to get in Europe. But it wasn't worth my time either way. The fit is exactly the same as our previous contender, so that's not a good sign. And the top part does not come with a sticker, which would have been a positive, but the fit is so bad that it flies off after opening it. I mean, this is just unacceptable. How did this even end up being available for purchase? The design looks so cool, and it even has added magnets at the back so you could charge it wirelessly while it hangs there. It's grippy, has a good keychain attachment point, and I would absolutely buy it were it not for the fact that it's literally unusable. F tier. I had high hopes for this one. It looks so good. That top part and the bottom part linked together through the keychain loop and usable for both the Gen 1 and 2, because the Gen 2 does have that lanyard attachment cut out at the side. Here they just made that a removable part so you can choose which one you want. There aren't any stickers here either, and I was really surprised by how well it fit. It was almost too good to be true, and it turned out that indeed it was. It's literally impossible to remove from the AirPod case. I struggled for over half an hour to get them off, with all the damages that you expect. I have all kinds of tools here because I knew this was going to happen with a few of these, and they all didn't do the job. Eventually, a combination of all of them and a lot of patience, I was able to put a credit card dummy in between the case and the AirPods and got it off with damage. But let it be a lesson. This is a choice for life. It's a pretty good case, and if I were able to get it off, I would recommend it, but as it stands, I don't. D tier for the people that don't care that it won't come off. Then the Nillkin Bounce Pro. Looks really cool and unique. I was very hyped for those cases which feature a magnetic button for release, because it's so simple. So I put the AirPods inside and noticed that on the top there was a big sticker. So I just ignored that to see if, it's still usable without those stickers, and I accidentally discovered a new fidget toy. The top shooter. No, but really, in all seriousness, it's obviously not usable without using the sticker on the top part. So be aware of that. The fit of the case is nice though, and if you use the sticker, it's a really good case. I would have loved to see it without that sticker, but it's definitely a good case. It does come with 2 replacement stickers, so my argument for durability is also irrelevant here. It also comes in other colors like all black or green, so if this blue isn't really your thing, that's also no issue. It's also able to stand on its own, so that is great. You can even push down the top without pushing in the button first, which is a premium feature, believe me. The carabiner is nothing special though, which is its only downside. A tier. Now, Mous was the first that really nailed that phone case feeling for the AirPods cases, where you just notice right away that this was tested and used prior to selling the cases. It's a good fit. You can really notice that it's tailored for the case. But sadly, that top part does need the sticker, and it does not come with replacement stickers, which is a bummer. The case itself looks fantastic though. I love the boxy shape and the overall design with that aramid fiber. Even the lanyard looks unique. It does not feature any added magnets. The case itself feels really hard and protective. It does have that green silicone on the inside, although you don't really notice that at all. Maybe it is for the fit, I am not sure. Now, Mous being Mous made added protection all around the case, on the spots that it drops on most often. And I would definitely recommend this one. Just include a few extra stickers, Mous. A tier. Then, Arc. You know, that brand which you either love or hate. All of their products are very minimal and mostly made out of aluminium. I love their iPhone case. So I thought I would love this product too. The bottom part feels exactly like the phone case. A nice snug fit, no wiggle room or anything, just perfection. This is achieved by probably making tiny holes in the aluminium and then inserting silicone pads or circles there, which are tightly held in there, so no glue here, it seems. Awesome. But even though the top part does feature those same silicone pads, it just cannot hold as well. Therefore, it features a sticky pad, not a sticker, so it's a little better, although I would definitely prefer it if it weren't needed at all. Now, the sticky pad does work great, no issues whatsoever, and the sound this thing makes when opening, it's so nice. It feels great in hand too, not slippery, and it looks fantastic as well. Protection-wise, yeah, sure, you can still scratch the front and back, but 9 out of 10 times, it will land on spots that are covered by this case. A tier. Now, this isn't really a case, but it's made for AirPods and I wanted to include everything. So this is the Nite Ize Cinch A Lot. Basically a keychain attachment with a silicone/rubber band that you can tighten. You can do a lot with this product, but if you wrap it around the AirPod case and tighten it, it works so nicely. Sure, it's not protected at all, so scratches will definitely be a thing, but at least your AirPods won't fly out anymore. If you attach it like this, it's not a gimmick. It really works. It's just that the protective aspect is totally gone here. This is one for the minimalists out there. Now, how to rank these? I mean, they aren't protective, but they are good at what they do. I'd say A tier, but please don't compare it too much to other cases as it's really its own thing. If this were a most protective tier list, it would rank very low, but yes, A tier. Then Mujjo. They have been notoriously hit or miss with iPhone cases, so I was very curious for this one. Luckily, it's just awesome. The fit is one of the best. It's very snug without any stickers. The lower part is easily detached. if you want it to come off, but it won't come off by itself. Really snug. And the top part does have one sticker, but I have not even used it, and the fit is great. It's vegetable tanned genuine leather, so not the fake stuff either. It feels really grippy and it looks great too. It's got a nice attachment point as well, which matches the whole aesthetic, but it's also really functional. On the inside, it's also got some nice suede-like material. All in all, it's done really nicely and feels extremely premium. S tier for sure. When it comes to aramid fiber, there is always one name that directly comes to mind. And that, of course, is Pitaka. And they have an AirPod case too, called the Nite Ize case. It's of course in the same style as their phone cases. It's really strong, you can't pinch it in at all. It's also much thicker than their cases, so it feels a lot more protective as well, while still maintaining that minimalistic vibe. The aesthetics are on point. There is no crooked lines where you can still see the white AirPod case coming through. It's all really nice. The lower part fits like a glove, but the top part does really need the sticker that it comes with. It does not come with extra stickers, which is a bummer. But once you've installed the sticker, it works perfectly fine. The aramid fiber feels soft, but you can still feel the texture as well. And like I said, it really feels as if it's protective too, not just a thin layer on the case for scratches. A tier. dBrand always goes the extra mile, and that's noticeable here too. You can buy the AirPod case without skin, choose your favorite skin for it and really customize it, but what I really mean is the little things, like add a tool to remove the case from the AirPod case, and one that's actually usable too. Plus, you're gonna need it since the fit is really snug. The top part falls off really easily though, if you don't make use of the stickers. But like I said, they go the extra mile, so of course they include another set of stickers, which is awesome. Once the sticker is on, the fit is great and that grippy texture really comes in handy here. It's also a great look if you've already got their phone case, of course. There's also a nice lanyard included, which doesn't suck, and you can even tighten it, which isn't something you see on most lanyards included. The LED cutout is also great, and it's got a lot of those refined edges and details, which I always love. Not a sharp edge to be found here, it also feels really rugged, but indeed also a little thick. A tier. Now, one of the best affordable options out there is of course Ringke. Let's start with the hinge clear case. Now, the idea here is quite smart. There's literally a hinge on the case which helps to keep the two pieces together, but also open and close in a nicer way. The fit is quite loose though, and it ends up working half of the time. It does not come with any stickers, so the top detaches like 40% of the time on my test. But if you open and close it in a more controlled fashion, then it's closer to 10%. Now, even though it's okay, once you drop this case, there is nothing preventing it from opening the lid and letting the AirPods fly out, since the hinge isn't different than the vanilla case. So this would be more of a preventing scratches type of thing. And where I say Ringke is always affordable, here it's more going in the cheap direction. It does come with a very nice carabiner though. D tier. The Onyx has those same design features as the cases do, it therefore looks great. It's a little more of a flexible material, the fit is quite loose here too, and even though you cannot really see it attached to the top part right away, it does come with stickers. Now, does that need it? I'd still say yes, but if you open it normally, I have not been able to let it fly off. I can imagine that it will with some drops though, so I'd still recommend you use them here. What's really nice is that it's flat at the bottom, so you can let it stand on its own. And the material is also quite grippy. It has a good attachment point and it comes with a very nice carabiner, like all of them do. I do feel they are a bit lacking when it comes to the protection part, they just don't feel rugged here. B tier. The silicone case is exactly the same material they use on the phone cases, and I love it. It's so comfy to hold, very grippy to hold, and both parts have fantastic grip. It does not need nor come with stickers, and thus it's a nice way to quickly protect your AirPod case against scratches and maybe the occasional drop. But it's not protective enough to really take the hits. So definitely more on the lighter side. The LED is still visible too, which is great, and that's sort of hidden in there with a transparent material, so it's an awesome product. A tier. And then last but definitely least is the layered case. I mean, once again, awesome idea. Just make the lower part out of 2 pieces so that you sort of have to install it against the case instead of insert it to make the fit even better. But once I installed it and tried to remove the AirPod case just to see if it was indeed better, I could just get them out like nothing happened. So it's definitely a gimmick. It looks fantastic though. The design is really top notch. Reminds me a lot of the Fusion X cases, which I totally love. But because the bottom piece is made out of 2 pieces that really only click to hold, I'm really afraid they will drop and break again. Just not the protection or security I would want. And the top part is also loose, so using the included stickers is your only hope. D tier. Now, one I was really surprised about was this one from Rhinoshield. I did not expect a whole lot here, to be honest. Not sure why. But I ended up liking it so much that I considered this one to be among my favorites. It just works. The carabiner is nice, the right size next to the AirPods, good weight, easily opened, a nice attachment point on the case, which is big. Both the top and bottom part have an amazing fit and don't need any stickers whatsoever, which is really a big deal. And the material is just so good, it's grippy, won't grease up, looks cool as if it's sort of smoked or transparent-ish. The shape is nice, the cutouts are nicely done, but the only things I would add is a flat bottom so that it can stand on its own and a second attachment point on the top part so that it can lock in the AirPods. It's definitely protective as well, feels rugged yet slim, but the AirPods can still fly out. Definitely S tier. Another genuine leather option is Bellroy, known from all their popular bags and EDC gear. This AirPod case is also quite nice. The fit is very good, and with that I mean it fits nicely around the case. Will hold on its own too, and the top won't fly off when you open it. I do feel it's just loose enough to still want to make use of the sticker at the top part just for when you do drop it. And it's also got nothing to hold down the top part, so the AirPods can still fly out when dropped hard enough. There is no magnets or anything to keep it shut. The leather is probably really thin here though. You cannot smell it, and the creases in the leather next to the plastic line that go across the whole case kind of confirm this. It doesn't look as nice and definitely feels like a plastic case with a thin leather skin slapped on top. Still, I do think it's a nice looking case, and if you get it on sale, it could absolutely be worth it. A tier. Now, ESR did an amazing job on all of their options, so that's spoilers for you. First up, the Cyber Flick Lock. Amazing fit here. Really great job. It fits like a glove, and that's both the top and bottom part of the case. It's got a very unique looking design, one that's risky but I do appreciate. A light but very useful and also cool looking carabiner made from plastic. And of course, features that lock system, which is just outstanding. The top part features a pin that is locked in once shut, so it cannot be opened without first moving the slide button to the right. Which is awesome because it means that the AirPods won't fly out any longer. It's also a really protective case. Rugged, bigger than the AirPod case for sure, and it's also got extra corner protection. Really a good case for anyone searching for more than just the scratch protection. It also has extra magnets at the back, so it can actually stay hanging while charging wirelessly, which is another plus on the scoreboard. It can also stand on its own, by the way. S tier for sure. Now, if you want that, but a more traditional design, be sure to go for the Pulse Flick Lock. Same idea with the locking system, and still very good here too. No visible magnets at the back, but they are definitely there. It can also wirelessly charge while hanging, so it's got great magnets. LED is still visible at the front, a nice lanyard, which you can tighten as well. It can also stand on its own, and it still feels very protective, but yet slimmer than the Cyber version. S tier. And then the Orbit Hybrid. A whole different shape to this one, as it's more of a rectangular design with rounded off edges. No sliding button to open it here, but it does have magnets, so it's not opening on its own or when falling. This is the next best solution, I think, where you still have that security, but no buttons are needed. You can just push it open and it will lock once it's closed. It's also got extra magnets at the back, so it can hang while wirelessly charging here too, and it comes with the same lanyard as the Pulse Flick Lock, plus it can also stand up straight. It's really personal preference here. They are all fantastic. S tier. Another genuine leather option, this time from Andar. I must say the leather looks and feels really nice. You can also smell it. And there isn't any creases whatsoever. So it's actually leather and not just a 1mm layer over a plastic case. The fit is also great. The top part does really need the sticker though, so just use that and it's fantastic. It's also really strong on its own, and it looks and it feels like it could really take a beating. It gives that security where you cannot really scratch it and make it look awful, but also that when it's dropped, there won't be any visible damages. A really durable product. I also love the added details on the speakers where there's a grid in front of it. And of course, the LED is still visible too. There isn't any way of pressing the button at the back though, but I would gladly give that up for a strong case. S tier. And then Caudabe. I love the design and the minimalist feel here, although I gotta say that I would have loved for it to be just a little bit more protective here. The Caudabe texture is awesome. You won't see any scratches or damages on it when it's dropped, much like leather cases, but plastic. And therefore, I would want it to be able to take a beating too. Here I just feel like it's a little thin, and even though it will definitely protect it against scratches, I think it lacks the drop protection. The top part fit is also really bad, to the point where I feel like it's not even fitted. More like a hat for the AirPod case that's held in there with a sticker. The bottom part has a really good fit though, so there's at least that. It can stand up straight, and a nice detail is that the Caudabe logo at the back is used for the button there. And like I said, the texture and shape are all really nice. It just could have been even better. B tier. Now, Otterbox definitely has some interesting cases for the AirPods. Let's start with the Lumen. It's like a clear case with non-clear edges that make this design. Looks cool. From the case itself, we can see that it's got anti-slip pads on the inside, probably to better the whole fit. That's also present at the top part, and if we then install the case, we can definitely feel that it's making a difference. The fit isn't slapped off, the top stays on, and so I can definitely say that it's a good fit. I can already see a lot of scratches on the clear case part though, so if that's something you hate, then you definitely need to look elsewhere. The shape is really comfortable, it's grippy and protective for sure. It does add a little bit of thickness to it, but it is compatible with wireless charging. That button at the back is not accessible though. It does come with two carabiners, which are made out of aluminium and feel well built. A tier. Then they also have the soft touch case. This has that same design as on some of the iPhone Symmetry cases, and I still dislike that. You can get it in other colors though, but the reason I dislike it is because you can feel those colored plastic bits. The material feels like a mix between silicone and plastic, and the fit is really comparable to the Ringke silicone case. It's really snug, and even the top part stays on without stickers. But I must say, it's not the best fit as far as the top part goes. With normal use, it will stay on for sure, but I did sometimes accidentally push it off, so it's still a little too easy. Its material feels like it could take a beating, but judging on the thickness of the case, it's not really drop proof. And also, the top will still fly open when dropped. C tier. The naming of these cases can be quite unclear. This one is also called the Soft Touch, but also headphone case. So yeah, this one also has that soft silicone feel to the outside, but it is hard plastic on the inside. The fit is top notch, and it does not make use of any anti-slip pads or so to achieve that, which is funny to me since these are from the same brand. It's also got a very unique closing mechanism where there is a hard part on the top part of the case and a soft silicone-like attachment point on the lower part. It's a really nice way to lock the case, and it works perfect. When you drop this case, the AirPods won't fly out. On the front, you can still see the LED. They made use of that transparent material there that's made into the case we've seen before. The included carabiner looks cool, but it is a little bit stiffer. S tier though. A brand that I have not featured before is KeyBudz. I got to check out 2 models for the AirPods, so let's start with the Element Proof. This big, chunky, rugged type of case looks very similar to the one we've already featured, the Catalyst one. But unlike that one, it's actually got a usable latch, as you can now easily open it instead of messing up your hands or bending your nails. I also have more faith in this latch for durability reasons, as there is less strain on one specific point and it just feels stronger there. The case itself is made out of mostly hard plastic with some silicone details, like the inner case, which has a fantastic fit by the way, and the USB-C plug. Because of that, it's also IP68, which means dust tight and waterproof up to 2 meters. It does come with an attachment point for the keychain ring, but it's too small to directly attach a carabiner to, hence the ring. Once opened, it does fall down, so there is nothing that stops that from happening, and it's still not the easiest way of getting your AirPods out on the go. But it does offer a lot of protection. A tier. The Elevate is more of a minimalist silicone type of case, where that top part once again is attached to the bottom part. It does come with a sticker for that top part again, but really it does not need it. The fit is excellent, and it also has a keychain attachment point, which once again is too small to directly attach a carabiner to. The case features a USB-C plug, but it's really more of a flap, where I guess the main advantage is to avoid getting dirt into the USB-C port. Other than that, it's not the grippiest, not slippery either, but I could see this falling out of my hands occasionally. The opening of the top part is also made a little more difficult, as the attached top tends to close in on itself. So I feel like it closes often when I don't want it to. Not a bad case though. C tier. Now, like always, Spigen has a lot of variants, which is good. So let's get to those next. The lock fit. I saw this case and I was hyped. It looks different and with one of those buttons. I thought it must be good. And to be honest, it's not bad, but it could have been a lot better. You see, the problem is that the button and the closing mechanism only work when you first press it in and then close the lid. And that's a big design flaw in my book. It should have been easy to close too, and even when you press the button, the latch only moves a few millimeters, which makes it even harder to make it work. And then to add insult to injury, once you press the button, close the lid, it even needs a little pat on the back or on the button to fully make the button close. Now, the case itself looks awesome, I think. It can stand on its own, can be charged wirelessly, access to the button on the back. It does not need the sticker on the top part, and even the LED is still visible because they made a cutout on the button itself. Comes with a nice carabiner and a big enough attachment point too. It could have been so good. C tier. Then the Ultra Hybrid, a clear case. The fit is extremely nice. It's got one of those fitted phone case fits, if that makes sense. You can feel it click into place. The lid stays on without stickers, and it's got a nice weight to it as well. Keychain attachment point, small though, so only the keychain rings and then a carabiner is possible. Nice cutouts, which are smooth, and I really like the shape of this case, with that wavy design at the top and bottom. Comes with a nice carabiner as well, so it all looks good. The only thing I'd still want to know, but have not been able to verify, is whether or not it will eventually yellow. Keep that in mind. A tier. The tough armor is really strong, feels incredibly protective. It can also stand up straight, which is nice. This is definitely a rugged case, as it makes the AirPod case feel really big. But what you get in return is the security that nothing will ever happen to them. It's got extra corner protection, and from the USB-C port you can really notice just how thick this case is. A solid keychain attachment point, which is not flexible at all, so it might be annoying for some, as it's sort of pointy too. Comes with a very nice carabiner, like most of the Spigen cases, and still wirelessly charged too. It does have added magnets at the back too, so you can let it charge on those MagSafe phone holders as well. Fit is excellent. The top part does not come off even without using the sticker, and so I can really recommend this one too. A tier. But there are some more minimalist type of cases too, like this one, the Mag Armor. This one has a really comfortable shape. It's grippy, and not because of the good looking pattern on the front, but just the overall material choice. Once again, a hard, not flexible keychain attachment point though, so keep that in mind. And the top part comes with a sticker, and it's also really needed here. It's slapped off really easily, so not usable without a sticker. Nice carabiner again, and of course it also has a backup sticker set, which is awesome. Rugged enough to protect against drops, slim enough to not notice it all that much. A tier. The rugged armor is very similar actually. It's mostly the design that's different. Oh, and also the top part. It does not need a sticker here. It also does not come with stickers, so they know it too. Really protective, yet slim. Much like the previous case, but here it got those aramid fiber details and a striped side. As grippy, so like I said, it's pretty much a design choice here. A tier. The Ultra Hybrid 01, of course, could not be left out. And unlike the phone cases, it's not just the print slapped on top of it. Here, it's actually a big difference in shape and material choice between the Ultra Hybrid and the 01. Excellent fit as far as the bottom part goes, but not good enough as far as the top part goes. Therefore, it also comes with a sticker again, which is needed even for normal use, since each time you open it, it will move back a little bit until eventually it falls off. It comes with extra magnets on the back, which help to keep your AirPod case on the charger again, and it's of course also compatible with the wireless charging. Non-flexible attachment point on the side again too, and even though I can appreciate its design here, it's not as good as some of the phone cases they have. Probably because that huge white area on there. I do love how the magnets are behind those design features, and for the LED on the front for instance, which also has a specific design element. It's almost as big as the lock fit though, which is unnecessary in my opinion. B tier. The Spigen silicone fit is an okay case. It's basically exactly the same as the one we've seen from KeyBudz called the Elevate, a silicone, flexible, not too thick type of a case, which has a good fit, The lid is attached to the bottom part, and the lid will sort of close more easily because of that silicone attachment point holding the two together. So it will close on accident a lot. Other than that though, it's comfortable, grippy, and it looks cool. Nothing else to talk about here. C tier. And then last but not least, the slim armor. Very similar to the ones we've seen so far with the waterproof silicone type of cases like that Casemate and Catalyst. These are all very similar in design and do pretty much the exact same thing. But I did like the Spigen one the most, and that's design, texture, and even size of the USB-C plug, which is bigger here. You pretty much open the top part, fold it over if you will, and then it's accessible to grab out your AirPods. And then just push it back to make the case close again. Once closed, there is ridges in there that make the case waterproof, and of course there is the USB-C plug too. On the front it has that transparent material made into the case again for the LED, so even though waterproof you can still see that as well, and the keychain attachment point is made into the design rather than added last. So it looks cool and it's flexible too, so it won't be annoying. S tier. Now for Supcase, the naming is a bit confusing too, as there is basically two UB Pros. One that's waterproof and one that's not. The one that is not is this one, and it has excellent value. At only like 15 USD, it's a very rugged and strong case. It can stand up on its own, extra corner protection, a hard but small keychain attachment point which only allows for keychain rings first, aramid fiber details, and on the front it looks like it's some sort of metal, but it's really plastic with a nice finish. Still looks great. The top part does come with a sticker, and I would still recommend you use it here as well, although it's definitely not easily slapped off. No added magnets on the back though, but they don't mention wireless charging compatibility either, and even though it does make contact, I'm not sure about charging yet. The fit is definitely on the tighter end though, so make sure to buy or get hold of a tool to get the lower part off. Very easy with such a tool. A tier. And then the waterproof variant. Now this is definitely a whole different type of case though, even though the name would not suggest it. Remember the two Zippo lighter-like cases, the Catalyst one and the KeyBudz one? Well, yes, this is definitely the final boss. It's the same way in that it's also open from one side and the inner is silicone, with a very nice fit. It also still has that waterproofing, so the USB-C plug, the closing aspect, and just the general feeling of a bulky case too. But where it shines is really its closing system, which has a button now, where you can pop it open instead of one of the other solutions. And then the latch to make it even more secure. It does click once it's closed, so it really does not need it, but it's more of a better to be safe than sorry type of thing. But the absolute best thing, which solves the whole issue I had with these, is that the top part has a spring-loaded hinge, which makes sure that it will always stay open, unless you want it to close. It's just so much easier this way, and it really makes the whole experience with such a case much easier. S tier. Now iBlason is also from Supcase, and they have this more feminine model, which pretty much has the exact same shape to it, but is aimed for women. Now, as far as the looks, I cannot say whether or not women will like this. Judging purely based on the case itself, it's a solid case, pretty thick though, and you will see scratches on the metal looking glossy parts, since it's still plastic here too. The fit is excellent though, especially at the bottom part, and the top part does come with that sticker, and here I would once again recommend you use it as well. A small attachment point that's also made from plastic, so there is a spot for attaching it to your keys or some lanyard if you so desire. Still, nothing on the wirelessly charging capability, so probably a no. Now, I would judge this worse than the other one based purely on the way it will look after a while, with the scratch situation. Same very snug fit here too though, by the way, so beware. B tier. Now a while back, like a year or so, I received this from Luriax with the idea to make a video sometime. And that time has come. This case is made from Alcantara, a material used mostly for sport car steering wheels. It feels really comfortable, although I've heard it's not as nice for steering wheels. Here though, it works out fantastic, and the fit of both pieces is also top notch. It does have a small USB-C port, which won't work well with bigger third-party USB-C cables, so keep that in mind. One speaker cutout doesn't look the best, but it won't really impact functionality, I'd say. It does make use of some sort of sticker, but more of the durable variant, which is reusable. So that's great. And the LED on the front is also still visible. All in all, feels really premium, and if you're into Alcantara, definitely recommend. One of the few that actually comes with a removal too as well. A tier. Now, this brand I was completely unfamiliar with. It's also not available here where I live, so I had to order it from the USA, but there were YouTubers praising it, so you already know I had to check it out for myself. The case itself looks absolutely great. It's such a unique looking material. It also has a button which connects the two, but sadly it's one of those that does not really work all that well. Now I gotta give it to them that indeed it does close without first pressing the button, so that's great. But once the case is closed and you press the button to open, it once again opens for like 3 millimeters and you still have to manually pull the top part open. So it doesn't shoot open, so to say. And it will sort of get stuck there, which is very annoying. It's very protective though, will definitely protect your AirPods, and the latch works, so they won't shoot out. But I feel like there's definitely better options with all of those features, and for even cheaper. It does have that unique factor though, with the shape and material choice, so it's also very likable. A tier. This is also one of those cases that I thought was really unique looking and was excited for to test out. Now, even though it says that it's for the AirPods Pro 2 and 1, its fit says otherwise. The top part is easily slapped off and it does not even fit right when you try to install the case. It's like the top is extra small. Only when you really push it down does it look okay, and in combination with the stickers that are included, it will probably look okay, but I feel like the fit is just not right. Something which you can also notice on the cutout for the lanyard attachment point, directly on the AirPod case itself. It's not really protective either, as it's really thin. So I was really disappointed with this one. It's got a rougher nylon sort of material, which does look cool though, and if you're into the minimalist vibe and don't mind the sticker, then I'm sure it will be okay. For me though, I'd give it a B tier. Elago is another brand that I've come across multiple times on Amazon, so I was curious here too. The silicone case is nothing special though. It comes in a plastic bag and it screams, "I'm from Temu." I bet you can find this exact case for around $1 on there. Because it's a silicone case though, the fit will be good. And that's the case here too. It's really hard to mess up the fit on these silicone cases. So even the top part without stickers. What we're left with is a silicone case that works, but nothing else. It's also supposed to be glow-in-the-dark blue, but I can see nothing of the sort. C tier. The other one is called the Armor case, and there's still some effort put into it. Still the soft silicone here too, and the fit is excellent. The top part does not feature stickers and it all works great. Its design also looks cool and it can even stand on its own. It's very grippy and just works. You can also see the LED through the material. The cutouts are nice. The band around the case increases the grip even more, and there's nothing to prevent your AirPods from falling out here though, so that might be the only concern, as drops will most likely be no issue. A tier. Lifeproof is a brand that always puts out interesting cases, and here it's no exception. Its plastic body has a very unique pattern going across it, which looks cool, but notice the edges where the two parts meet. That's silicone. And it's not only design, because if you try to throw these somewhere, you will notice it will stop very quickly. So it won't slide, so to say, which is very good. The fit is especially nice here. The top part needs to be pushed on really hard, but once it's on there, it will stay on there. No stickers, no nonsense, great fit. And even though the fit is awesome, you can still get the case off without tools. The round carabiner is also good and fits the overall aesthetic. They should have made a loop on the top part though, and it would have been complete, since the Airpods will still fall out once dropped. But at least you may prevent a few drops due to that silicone edge, which prevents sliding. S tier. Now, to be honest, when Casetify sent out their case, I thought it would be more of a fashion type of case. You know, looks good, but that's it. And whether or not you like their branding, this case is definitely good. It's got a unique shape to the case. It's almost flat on one side and then round on the other. It can stand on its own. And even though it has that tiny sticker on the top part, it absolutely does not need it. Made out of silicone, its fit is of course amazing. And because it's not the very soft type of silicone, it's actually surprisingly easy to get it off too, without compromising the fit. A nice carabiner which is included, and because they send it over, they put my name on there as well, which is also an option. It's got the button at the back too, and because it still has some strength to it, especially at the sides, it's drop resistant too. I like this case, although the pricing is still a little off. A tier. The best leather AirPod case though, I got to give it to Nomad. This is the case that Bellroy wanted to make but couldn't. It's funny even, because if you put these two side by side, you can see that the Nomad one is just so much nicer. And it does not make use of the stickers either. The inside has a nice felt material, and I guess they are just fitted so nicely that it does not even need silicone pads, stickers, or anything else to accomplish its absolutely amazing fit. This is the absolute best fitting, strong feeling, genuine leather case I've seen. It feels really protective, and because it's leather, you know, it can take a beating too. You can see the LED on the front because there's a cutout for it, and the plastic frame going across the sides just makes it pop. Comes in a bunch of nice colors too, so there's one for everyone here. S tier for sure. This one from Surphy or any other named brand, since the design is apparently some sort of private label manufacturer, is great. It's really a fantastic product for an even better price. Easily installed, easily removed, snug fit, and the button doesn't suck. It's at 1/3 of the price of the VRS Design, and the button is 10 times better. Held in there with magnets too, so it closes really nicely. Protective case too with the corners, and it even comes with a nice carabiner. For that price, it's nearly unbeatable. So satisfying to open these and take the AirPods out. Even if you already own a case for your AirPods, just buy this one too and you'll be even happier. It can also stand on its own, by the way. The only thing I dislike here though is the LED cutout. It could have been nicer. It comes in regular colors too, not just this fancy yellow, so don't worry. S tier. Now, Aulumu always has interesting designs, and this time it's no different. The A09 is the most unique looking AirPod case out there at the moment. Such a cool piece. The latch or button does not immediately pop the top open, but it's still very nice and easy to use. You don't have to fight against it, so to say. The top does not have stickers, and it's also not even possible since the inside of the case is not made for that. It's also not tied on there though, but it does not matter since the lock in the middle will keep them together. It will not pop off with regular use, only when you test it will it pop off. Something I've noticed though is that you will sometimes need to push it back on there a little, since the edge will be visible now and then. It's wireless charging compatible, and it's definitely a nice conversation starter. S tier. The A19 is the other variant they have, and it could have been so good too. Sadly, the fit is just not right. It's once again an extra small fit for the AirPods, and it just does not look good. The top barely fits, and the latch system does not work as nice. As here too, the latch or button needs to be open to get it to close properly. And also, you will need to push on the top part really tightly to get it to close properly too. And once that's done, push the top part of the button to lock it in. Seems like the dimensions weren't properly taken here. But the design is once again top notch. It's just sad to see, but this one has got to go to E tier. Of course, UAG cannot be skipped either. Let's first take a look at the Metropolis. Now, the fit of the top part is pretty much non-existent. It's really needed to make use of that sticker for the top part. The bottom part has a nice fit though and is snug on there. The case itself stands on its own, which is really nicely done here. I also love the design, it's just so cool. The keychain attachment loop allows for directly attaching a carabiner to it too, without a ring first. And it even features added magnets at the back, so you could hang it up while charging, which is awesome. It's a very grippy case, and with that wireless charging compatibility, it's a good one too. Just sad about the top part, that could have been done better in my opinion. But once the sticker is attached, you don't notice this in any capacity. A tier. The Scout is pretty much the same thing as far as the fit goes. The top part is loose, but once you use the sticker, it's fine. Still, I would prefer them with a good fit without the stickers here too. Not a huge fan of this color either, but it's available in other colors too. It's got that button at the back, good cutouts for the USB-C port and speakers, but sadly no added magnets at the back. It's compatible with wireless charging though, so there's that. Its shape is also comfortable to hold, and the different type of textures on there make it very grippy. It can also stand on its own with that flat base, and once again comes with the same nice carabiner and loop. B tier. Now I may be biased because I absolutely love the civilian design. Whenever I feel like it's comfortable, I always use that as one of my main cases. Sadly, last time for the iPhone it just wasn't. So I am glad to say that at least for the AirPods it's a fantastic choice. The top part isn't as loose as the previous two, but still needs the sticker. It's got a nice button at the back, which is really nicely done, fits great, a nice circular cutout for the LED at the front, and once again, it can stand up straight. The front has that unique UAG civilian look, and there's more definition to it here than on the phone cases even. Great case. Wireless charging compatible, and both its shape and the material are very comfortable. This is the perfect amount of ruggedness, but also keeping it minimal, while still providing excellent protection. A tier. And of course, they also had to have their own case with that button that keeps both pieces together. The Plasma series. And the looks are once again really cool. The button isn't as great as some others, but it's definitely not as bad either. You do need the sticker on the top part for this one though, otherwise it won't work at all. So the sticker is mandatory. At least you can close the case without pressing the button first, and it's relatively easily opened. Just the button isn't as snappy as something like the Surphy case or ESR. The case can once again stand up on its own, and it has a unique button at the back as well. I do love that design, especially that clear part, which is done exactly like the Plasma XTE. So you could really match these up. A tier. And then Decoded. Let's start with the silicone case. Really a perfect fit. It's silicone, but definitely a harder plastic core, since it's really not all that flexible. So the fact that the fit is still good really says something here. It's actually quite tough to get off without a tool, and the top part is also really snug. Because of that hard core, it's also quite drop proof actually. You can still see the LED through the case too, and it does not feature extra magnets here. It does really maintain that minimalist style, so to say, so I can really appreciate this one. Simple, but very good. Oh, and there's a lanyard included too. S tier. They also have the leather air case, and this one also feels really good. This feels a little thicker than the other one though, and is definitely a genuine leather case. It smells really good and looks fantastic as well. Now you can really notice that it has sort of a two-way design, where there's a plastic core and the outer layer is leather. Works great, and the fit is also really good. The top part does have a sticker, but one of those fancy ones where the sticker is reusable and it does not really stick, more like an anti-slip pad, so to say. This is definitely on the same level as Mujjo or Nomad. These are also still relatively easy to remove from the AirPod case, so it's easy to clean too. The inner has a sort of suede-like finish, which is also top tier. Comes with a removal tool and a lanyard as well. S tier.